up, guys? Nintenjoel here once again, and once again it is pickup time. Can't believe it, it's already time for another one, and yeah, I just keep picking up stuff, keep finding awesome trades especially, and keep contributing to this madness. I've got another great pickup episode for you with all kinds of good stuff, so let's just get right to it. There's all kinds of stuff from a bunch of different people, and yeah, before I make this video 20 to 25 minutes long like I usually do, let's just get straight to the pickups. Alright, and on to the pickups. We're going to get straight to this because I have actually already filmed this 3 times. Well, no, this is the 3rd time, so 3rd time's the charm. Hopefully, I suck. One of the times turned out really blurry, and the other time I tripped over my words at the very last minute, so yeah, 3rd time's the charm. Don't remember where I got this. Deja Vu. Yeah, that's a funny name for a game that I can't remember the name of, or where I got it from, but yeah, maybe it'll come to me in a deja vu. Anyways, happy to get that point-and-click adventure. There's also the Uninvited and Shadowgate on the NES that are part of the point-and-click adventure games. I have Shadowgate, but I do not have Uninvited. Still looking for that one. My buddy Wally was in town, and he brought some trade fodder with him. Robo Warrior for NES. I do remember playing this, but I can't remember if I liked it or not. So, must not have been too horribly impressive, but nice label. Okay, so next one, Three Stooges. Lots of like mini games and stuff. I remember you have to like fish for clams and clam chowder. Wacky. It's made by Activision, so it can't be that bad. Activision kicked ass back then. And then definitely happy to get this one. I had traded this to my buddy Kevin. Tiny Toons Adventures 2, which I've actually not played much of. I grew up with the first one, but I haven't really played this one too much. This one's got a little bit of like maybe water damage on the corner there. But thank you, Wally. Awesome to get those games. And then I got 3 more NES games from a dude on the local retro gaming group that I'm on. And all 3 of these had really good labels. First of all, Beetlejuice, LJN, NES game. Yeah, what do you expect? It's not really the greatest. It's okay. I mean, it's not bad. It's a platformer. It's kind of standard. The graphics are kind of subpar. And then we've got a game that I was actually pretty stoked on, Heavy Barrel. If you like Commando or Akari Warriors, like the overhead like run and gun shooters, you'll probably like Heavy Barrel. Graphically, this reminds me of the Metal Gear games on Nintendo, which is kind of cool. And then definitely stoked about this. Not many beat-em-ups on the NES that I can think of that like really kick ass. Besides like Battletoads and the Turtles games and like River City Ransom. Okay, so there's a few, but still. This is not one that I would have thought would be very good, but man, do I love Batman Returns on NES. This game kicks ass. This is a lot of fun, and it's right up there with like Turtles and Battletoads in my opinion. This is freaking great beat 'em up. So thank you, Jared. Awesome to get those. Okay, then Square Enix had a sale, and most of the stuff was like 50% off. So I nabbed 3 sealed games, and there was a lanyard that came with it too for free. But there was shipping, so I mean it wasn't like totally half off, but it was still a pretty good deal. And I got a greatest hits copy of Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross. That'd be great to get a sealed copy of Chrono Trigger. We'll put that over there. And I did get a copy of Chrono Trigger sealed, but not the one on Super Nintendo DS, which is cool though because I just got rid of my copy. Traded it for one of the Castlevanias on Game Boy. So Chrono Trigger. Very cool to have that again. And then the one I was really after, Final Fantasy IV, the Complete Collection. Okay, so this is Final Fantasy II on Super Nintendo, which is supposed to be Final Fantasy IV. It's got nice graphical upgrades and stuff like that, but it also comes with Final Fantasy IV, the After Years, which is a Final Fantasy like extension of Final Fantasy IV. It's like kind of a sequel, a bit shorter I think, but cannot wait to play this. Totally stoked on that. Okay, and then, really stoked on this one too. So, dude on the local retro gaming group put up a box and manual, and he was like, I don't collect boxes and manuals, is anybody interested in this? And I happened to be the first person to see it. I had a loose copy of the game. It's a pretty sought after game. Phantasy Star 4, so yes, I have a complete in-box copy. This dude is not into Genesis, like boxes and manuals. I don't know, maybe he just doesn't have enough of them, so it kind of doesn't go with the rest of his collection, but one of the games I traded him was Terminator 2, and he didn't want the box and manual that I had for it. So I ended up actually giving that to somebody else that wanted it. I think Richard. But yeah, so he ended up with a couple games. Can't remember what the other one was, but really freaking cool to complete that. Just really freaking awesome to complete that. I could probably fit that right there somehow. Trying to figure out how to get all this stuff in here because there's a lot of stuff. So anyways, that guy's name is Andrew. Thank you very much, Andrew. That was an awesome, awesome trade. So next, my buddy Josh just kicked down some stuff to me. Really random stuff. And there was actually more. There was a case manual, artwork, and all that for Rise of the Dragon on Sega CD, which I already have complete in box, but, you know, if anybody needs it, if they have a CD-only copy, let me know. I'll just, you know, probably give it to somebody at some point, or I don't know. There was also, like, a charging station for Wiimotes. I couldn't find that, but what I could find for sure was Donkey Kong Country Secret Room Guide, which is pretty freaking neat. And, yeah, this is just something you don't really see every day. And it's got this crazy green pukey font, which is really actually kind of cool in 90s. But yeah, it's just kind of cool. Put that over there, we're running in a room. And then another guide, Top Secret Passwords Nintendo Player's Guide. I'm pretty damn sure I used to have this one. But what's cool is this one covers Nintendo, Game Boy, and Super Nintendo. And it's got a lot of passwords mostly, for all kinds of stuff, for all kinds of games, and yeah, the Immortal. Getting to different stages, that's kind of nice. And I have the hiccups, but yeah, there's just all kinds. I just saw codes for Mega Man 4 and Metal Gear and Metal Storm. That's really cool. And then back here, there's like stage select codes, and yeah, just really cool to have that. So thank you, Josh. And he also gave me this, which I'm actually gonna return the favor and kick this down to my buddy Trent. He's looking for one of these, or I think he has one of these, and the buttons, one of his buttons is missing, and one of my buttons is missing, so, you know, take two apart, you'll get one working one. So this goes to my buddy Trent, but yeah, it's just an off-brand Dreamcast gun. And then the last thing, which is the one that I'm actually the most stoked on, is just a Wiimote gun where you clip the Wiimote into the gun and bang, 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 wiggity, wiggity, whack, kick some ass. And yeah, House of the Dead. That's all I have to say about that. House of the Dead. So, thank you very much for the kickdowns, Josh. That's freaking amazing. And speaking of kickdowns, did a trade with my buddy Kevin, and he kicked down Bubsy 2. It is sun-faded and no manual or anything. But hey, free games are free games. I like free games. They are cool. I am still trying to figure out how to fit everything. Okay, so, and also I think this might have been a kickdown, or maybe this was part of the trade, I can't really remember, but D-Force for Super Nintendo, not the best shooter. It's an overhead shooter, which I love normally, but yeah, this one, not so much. Not really the greatest shooter, but, you know, still goes with my collection of shooters. I still play it. Even though it's not the greatest shooter, I still freaking play it. I don't know why. And then, so the game that I thought I wouldn't like as much, you would think I would like the overhead shooter, and not this one as much. This one's just a platformer, but Zool, pretty fun platformer, really, really colorful, nice music, fairly nice presentation, the kind of game that you'd pass up 100 times, yet if you can find this game for $5, I legitimately recommend this game. It's actually pretty good. It's not bad. Not bad at all. So thank you for that, Kevin. And the whole reason I traded was to get a nice Hue card only of Legendary Axe 2, which means I have 1 and 2 on TurboGrafx, which just kicks ass. So thank you very much, Kevin. I love Legendary Axe and like Rygar and any of the like barbarian type like side-scrolling action games. And the very next game is exactly that type of game. But anyways, yes, thank you very much for that, Kevin. Legendary Axe 2 is really fun. Oh, and you don't have an axe. Yeah, you still the entire game you have a sword. You can get other weapons, including an axe, but they're limited time only, kind of like the stars in Super Mario. They last a little bit longer, but yeah, why they should call it Legendary Sword, I don't know. Rastan, got this from my buddy Trent, and this is a Taito game, and I trust old Taito games for the most part. And this one's a really nice shape, too. Impossible to open, but you know. Cart, manual, all that jazz. So pretty stoked on this. Already, just when I saw it, I was like, this has a cool cover, it looks cool. And then I started playing it, and oh my god, this is one of my new favorite Sega Master System games. It is just fun, 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 fun. So much fun destroying enemies. Yeah, same things, Legendary Axe, you're a barbarian. You go around beating the crap out of things. Climb vines, jump on things, you can high jump. The control for that's kind of weird. You like do a regular jump just by pressing the button, but you have to press up and the button to high jump. Just kind of funky. Why not just have the Mario mechanic where the longer you press the jump button, depends on your height. That just seems easier to me. That was the only gripe I had about the game, but other than that, Roston, highly, highly recommended if you have a Sega Master System. One of my favorite games now. And then, freaking so stoked about this. Journey to Silius. Trent actually ordered this online for me, and I traded him something really good for it. What I traded him for it, I can't freaking remember off the top of my head. I am so bad about that. Once a game is out of my hands, as you guys know, it's like, whoop, out of sight, out of mind. But Journey to Silius, I'm so stoked about this. That's probably why I can't remember. Super nice label. This is a really cool game. Side-scrolling, platformer, again. But, interesting story with Journey to Silius, this was originally a Terminator game, and they lost the licensing for some reason. I can't remember exactly why. It's a Sunsoft game, which it was actually a decent game. Really good music, decent play control. So they lost the licensing. Turns out it's not going to be a Terminator game. They decided to keep all the code for it, just change a few things like the characters, and bam, new story, bam, new game. So I'm glad that they turned that into a new game and didn't just scrap it altogether, but on the other hand, it would have been cool to have one really badass Terminator game on a 8-bit system. That would have been the shit. So that's kind of a like toss-up. Like, is it cooler that it was never made as a Terminator game, or is it cooler the other way? I don't know. But either way, Journey to Silius is a really good game. One of the infamous games that went towards the Evo Search for Eden. When I got that, I got rid of a lot of uncommon Nintendo games that have done nothing but rise in price, and there's still a few more that I need to catch them all. But Journey to Silius was the top one from that I needed. Okay, so me and my girlfriend and her son and her sister and her grandma all piled in the SUV and went to Albany, Corvallis area to visit more family of hers. And of course, if there's a video game store, I'm going to stop there. We initially went to this place in Corvallis, and as soon as we pulled up, I was like, this isn't a game store. We've been here before. Last time we were up north, we went to this place, and it was listed as having games, and we went inside. It was all D&D, and it was, Warhammer and stuff like that, which I have nothing against, but it's like every time you go into a place like that and you ask if they do indeed by any chance have video games, they stare at you like you're a freaking madman and probably make fun of you as soon as you walk out the door, which is exactly what happened because I had to check just in case, and of course, no, they did not have video games. They just stared at me crazily as I walked out the door. But there was a video game store in Albany. Now, here's a funny story. Couldn't remember the name of the video game store today for this video, so I went and looked it up on Google today, and guess what? It closed. Jesus Christ. There are no video game stores in that area now. That means there are literally only GameStops now. I know there's a GameStop in Albany. I'm not sure if there's one in Corvallis, but there are no retro video game stores anymore. So if we do indeed move to that area, bet your ass I'm going to try to freaking open up a store up there if I possibly can. I don't know. But, okay, so what I have to say about Game Exchange up there was their customer service was not the greatest, and maybe that was their downfall. I did get 3 games there. But yeah, we had to get their attention. They were busy playing like Street Fighter V, and the one dude was like moving around, like dodging shit, like throwing the controller, and he was really, really into Street Fighter V, and the other employee was watching him play, and so no customer service. But they had a bunch. Okay, these guys had like no good cartridge games. Like they had a copy of Marble Madness that was overpriced. That was the extent of what I needed at this store. It was pathetic as far as carts go. But I go over to the PS2 section and I'm just like, what is going on? First of all, they have a little glass case where there's just like a bunch of badass PS2 games. Oh, and there was a box Dreamcast there, and there was a couple odds and ends, but for the most part it was like nothing really good, and then a crap ton of disc-based games, mostly PS2, Xbox 360, not much PS1, but a ton of PS2 and some decent ones. 3 RPGs. Ys Ark of Nepishtim? Napishtim? Yeah, I got this Ys game for PS2. Looks pretty good. That was actually on my want list. Couldn't pronounce it, but looks pretty fun. Popped it in, and it is indeed fun. Suikoden Tactics, or Suikoden, whatever. Either way, really good condition on all of these. This one has a soundtrack, and I mean, this one looks brand new. And apparently, some guy had turned in a whole collection of RPGs. The one thing that I could get the employees to talk about was this guy that had turned in a bunch of PS2 titles, RPGs. And the cheapest one, the one I was most stoked to get, because man, I'm a sucker for Front Mission. Holy crap, Front Mission 4. I had a copy of this, the disc was so scratched it didn't work, and then I had a, like, outside only, like just the art. So, stoked to have a complete box copy that looks brand new. This game freaking rules. If you like PS2 and you don't have Front Mission, go get this game. It's like $10. I think I got this for 10, like $10, maybe 15, I don't know. Cheap, go get it. Super good, super good. Customizable mechs, overhead tactical game, just so good. Okay, so on the way to going to Albany, we stopped in Grants Pass to visit a dude named John because we had a big trade in mind, and on top of that, he works at GameSwap, the game store that is in Grants Pass. So I just met him at his work, we did the trade, and I also brought in a bunch of stuff to trade and got a bunch of trade credit. So first I'm going to show you what I got with the trade credit, then I'll show you the 2 items I got for the trade, which are freaking amazing. Okay, first of all, with the trade credit that I got, okay, this one's really funny. You're going to laugh at this. Monster Force on Game Boy Advance. Super cheap game. Super cheap game. I believe it's based on a cartoon. Why would I pick this up? I popped this in because the cover looked interesting, and this is why you gotta do this once in a while. I was like, hey, can I borrow a Game Boy Advance for a second? He was like, sure. Pop this game in just to see what it is, and man, no joke, this is a Zombies Ate My Neighbors clone. This is a freaking Zombies Ate My Neighbors clone, or Ghoul Patrol, either way. This is one of those games. It is really crazy. It's overhead. I mean, the mechanics are the same. You're rescuing people. It's crazy. So I might actually do a review on that game. That's really crazy. Keep your eye out for that. I don't know why people don't talk about it. Probably because it's a licensed game. The other Game Boy Advance game I got was Gunstar Superheroes. We're going to speed this up, taking up a lot of time. Gunstar Superheroes. You guys probably kill me. I'm not the hugest Gunstar fan. It's okay. I had that Gunstar Heroes on Genesis, and I actually traded it for something recently, so that shows. I don't know. Some games I latch onto, some games I guess I just don't. Then I got Luminous Arc 2, just the card only, but it was really cheap. It was like $10, and I believe he gave me a discount on this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did, so it was like $8. So yeah, this game is on my want list, so pretty stoked about that. Wish I had a box and manual, but that's okay. And then a game I've been after for quite some time, Cardia, The Word of Fate, and turns out this is actually the Blockbuster edition. Apparently this game, when it came out, was initially supposed to be a Blockbuster exclusive. For some reason they changed their mind, and they did end up releasing copies to the US that were, for regular consumers. But the difference is the logo. Apparently this logo is the one that the Blockbuster one has. The other one has like an embossed gold logo, I think, so doesn't seem to affect the value much at all, but that is actually kind of cool. It does suck. The disc is in really good shape though, and what's also very cool is I have the guide for this game, so I was very happy to pick this up. It was like $12, so could not go wrong with Cardia, Word of Fate. And then last thing I got with my trade credit, man, I've owned this a few times. This must be my 3rd time owning Contra Hardcore. But yeah, Contra Hardcore. This is actually going to somebody. I'm pretty sure he did a trade with me, but didn't have me send my stuff yet. Anyways, Contra Hardcore. Pretty sure this is going to my buddy Phobia. And you guys all know what Contra Hardcore is. It's the freaking hardest Contra game in existence, and the only one on Sega Genesis. Okay, last 2 things I have for you guys, and then we'll go check out the shelf. These were the trade that I did for it with him. And Metal Marines for the Super Nintendo.
not a lot of people hear about this game. This is like a tactical overhead strategy, isometric view, command and conquer style game. You shoot missiles across the ocean at each other and give orders to troops and all kinds of jazz like that. Fairly uncommon. I have owned this game before and ended up trading this to my buddy Kevin, and I'm actually glad I have this again because it really intrigued me, and it's not a very common game to find at all. Okay, so last thing. Oh my god, so stoked on this, and you guys will see that this actually has an impact on the channel because now I can do Sega Master System reviews in HD on the Retron because the Genesis power base converter, which this is, will work on the Retron 5. So what this is, in case you don't know what a power base converter is, this is basically something that plugs into a Genesis and you can play Sega Master System games in it. But again, this works for the Retron, which means automatically I am upscaling to HD, which is just amazing. It plays the card games, has this cool door, plays the cart games, and it works amazing. Really freaking cool. So yeah, I am very stoked on this. What's funny is I was actually going to pay cash for one of these not horribly long ago when they were like 40-50 bucks. These things were 40-50 bucks religiously forever. Just forever. You could get these things for 40-50 bucks. And then as soon as I had the money to get one, for some reason that last $50 one sold. Story of my life. And the cheapest one was like $70 or $80. And John was cool enough to, he knew that I was after this. He had just gotten this. He said he didn't really use it much, and he didn't offer it to anybody else. He offered it immediately to me because he knew I needed it. So thank you very much for that, John. I actually really, really appreciate that. That concludes all the pickups. Thank you to everybody that gave me all this crazy, crazy crap. This is going on too long. Let's go see what it looks like on the shelf.
Alright guys, so there we go. Another pickup fired off, unbelievably. Look at all this stuff. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of stuff here. And I might point out, look at how many Nintendo games there are. And Super Nintendo games. I always hear people boo-hooing that Nintendo and Super Nintendo is impossible to collect for. Okay, I can understand once you have 400 or 500 games, yes, it does start getting a little harder to collect for. But a lot of the times people are just going for the like $100 and $200 games. Stop doing that. There's plenty of $10, $20 games that kick ass. So yeah, with that rant being out of the way, what do you guys think of the pickup? Please let me know in the comments below. I'm pretty impressed with it. That was just another crazy pickup, and I know there's another one coming soon, and yeah, they just don't stop coming, so that's freaking amazing. So let me know in the comments below what you thought of the episode, and what was the next thing. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos by me, the Forgetful Gamer, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's down there. It's red, and it says subscribe. I'm going to get off of here before I forget how to end this video. Thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate it. Keep rocking the retro games.